Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Monday, the 1st of April. All right, exciting times with the start of a new month. And this week we've got a huge amount of economic data coming out with the non-farm payrolls, the pinnacle at the end of the week. Now, I've just had some TANCAN numbers out. I don't really expect those to impact too much. So one of the first things you need to do, especially on a Monday, is when the markets reconnect after the weekend. Now, this day and age, there's a lot of geopolitical events globally. There hasn't been a lot of news out, which is a good thing. Now, just what you need to do is come back and reconnect the markets from where they were on Friday. Now, the dollar index has pretty much consolidated up around 90 or above 97, 97.25. The big release on Friday was the Canadian GDP numbers, much better than expected. All right, and that has really seen, I'll just flip you back over to the charts, has really seen dollar CAD take another big knee-jerk reaction to the downside. And so you'd expect, well, that's factored into the market now. Looks like fair value around 133.50. Now, that wasn't an easy trade, I can tell you. It gapped about 20 points and went straight against the current trend. So that's where the dollar CAD ended up. And if you're looking across the board here at a few of the other pairs, the Aussie and the Kiwi have sort of consolidated, if anything, come back a little bit. And that is pretty much due to the Chinese manufacturing data. If I just scroll down here, you'll see the numbers much better than expected. And this is one of the main reasons. And a lot of people ask me, why isn't China part of the main majors? Well, some of their big numbers come out on the weekends. Last weekend, it was the CPI numbers. This weekend, they had the manufacturing numbers, which were slightly stronger than expected. And over here, you can see dollar yuan gapping to the downside on the open. So, another good reason why we don't have positions over the weekend. You get this crazy activity when one of the biggest, economies in the world is actually producing or releasing their economic data over the weekend. Equity markets, coming back to look at Friday's markets, slightly up. It's pretty good. Just means they're ticking away. There's no major concerns. You wouldn't expect, any major moves with that sort of activity. Now, let's just have a look where things are going to play out this week. I just come back to the MyFX Trading Hub. All right, so now when you come back to the markets, it's very important, obviously, you understand what session you're trading in. It's going to be very important for what pairs you're looking at the moment. We're in the Asian session, so Aussie, Kiwi, and dollar yen are the major focus. Now, what's going on with the majors? Well, if anything, the majors are still sort of drifting a little bit sideways. To me, there's been a slight change in the outlook. We had Kiwi and Euro sort of just drifting to the downside. The Kiwi now, those RBNZ comments have been factored in. They will sit there in the background, but you know what? The currency has sort of just dropped off. That move is already in the market. Now it's starting to drift sideways, and it's going to get a little bit trickier from here. So don't just rush in and get short Kiwi at these levels. There's a bit more to it. And obviously, if I just scroll down just a touch, you'll see that this China-US situation or the tariff issue is going to come into play. And that's going to be very important for the Aussie and Kiwi, let alone the Chinese yuan. All right, now, but coming back to the general outlook, Euro is still steadily, just sort of slowly drifting lower. The Bank of the ECB, I was going to say the Bank of England, the ECB still on that sort of growth drifting off. And this is going to be an important part of the week because we do have the ECB meeting accounts. That's where they sort of get together, discuss what's going on, and they sort of basically let you know what they're worried about or concerned about or what their forward projections are. So it's very important to keep that up. And of course, the RBNZ, that bearish sentiment will stick in the market, that fundamental bearish outlook, even though the technicals aren't really chiming in on the downside at the moment. Now, to get yourself organised, so you're looking at the technical outlook, the fundamental outlook. From these two factors alone, you should be able to work out what the best pair to trade is. And then you can come back up here to the upcoming events, and then you can really work out where, the potential opportunities are. Now, Mondays, as I've said many times, the markets are reconnecting after the weekend. We've had these stronger Chinese numbers. Now, we do have some NAB, one of the local Australian banks' business numbers. Now, this is a really low-tier number, and you can hold positions through this release. But you know what? If there's significant variance, And we've seen the business numbers in New Zealand impact massively over the last sort of 6 months. If there is massive variance in these numbers, then you can start to see the currency move. You know, we don't usually see the level of variance that we do in New Zealand, but there is potential there. The Caixin manufacturing numbers, okay, this is the sort of second batch of data out of China, so keep an eye on that. Once again, that will impact Aussie, Kiwi, and dollar China. So you want to keep an eye on those pairs. And you know what? If this thing is variant, it will move the market pretty aggressively. Then you come back into like Monday, funnily enough, is a massive week here for like it's one of those rare weeks where Monday is actually quite huge. And there's loads of stuff coming out. We've got the German manufacturing PMI numbers, final manufacturing numbers. Now, don't forget, about a week ago, or just over a week ago, we had the German manufacturing numbers. They were hugely weak, and the euro dropped 100 points. Okay, this is the final number, so just keep an eye on this one. It could be a really good opportunity. Okay, especially if it turns around those numbers, and you can hold positions through that release. You've got the UK manufacturing PMI. Well, once again, that's probably going to be overshadowed by the Brexit issues, which, you know, they're running out of time there. They've got another, 11 days. We'll see how that plays out, but it's just a bit of a bloodbath. The Eurozone CPI flash estimate, definitely one worth looking at. Once again, weak, you know, euro is going lower fundamentally and technically, so weaker numbers here plays into a nice trade on the downside. And the really good thing about Monday is we've got the US retail sales figures and the ISM manufacturing data. So you're looking for some, consistency in these numbers would be good, either both strong or both weak, because that could give the US dollar some sort of traction to start the week, which usually holds throughout the week as well. I mean, we do have durable goods out on Tuesday, but you know what? The US dollar could really kick into gear here and really ignite the majors. And then when you come back down to just looking at what else we got Poloz, the Bank of Canada Governor Stephen Poloz speaking. Now, you do want to listen to what he has to say, especially after those stronger GDP numbers. He may come out at the end of the speech and just give you a bit more of an outlook on what he's thinking for interest rates on that. And that's where we pretty much leave the Monday. Plenty to go on. I won't go through the week. For those traders who have attended the 5-day fast track workshop, don't forget, guys, we've got the online meeting starting today. This will be, very interactive. So make sure you got your webcam and your microphone, because we are going to have a detailed meeting amongst us all, and we'll work out where the best trading opportunities are. All right, that's your Monday update, guys. There's plenty coming out. This is a huge week. If I just sort of scroll down, you can see the vast array of economic numbers. These are, the first week of the month is always exciting because we always have the huge, high impacting data. And this is going to be a bit of a change from the last week or so, where we've been a little bit starved of key opportunities. Now, focus on your charts. Get your charts tuned up. Make sure you understand where these currencies are going and where the data potentially fits in. And that's where the opportunities are going to be. We've got pretty good trend lines on the Aussie. Euro's definitely sort of got that nice sort of downtrend. I'm not really focused on sterling. That's just doing my head in. Still looking to sell Kiwi on rallies, but probably more back towards 69 now that that downside momentum has fallen. Dollar yen, well, it's drifting sideways, but it does look like it may want to have a little poke above 111.20 again. And dollar CAD on the downside, a little bit tricky, but keep an eye on oil. It's back above $60. So that should actually give the downside a little bit more of a push as we go through the week. All right, guys, that's it from me. Have a good trade day. We'll see you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.